So this is a video I did not know I was making until probably just about an hour ago, when it became very clear that I needed to address the rhetoric that is certainly playing out in my field and probably many of yours. I am referring to the rhetoric that has been playing out in regards to the upcoming US presidential election. The reason that this is so important is the result of this election affects all of us, not from a political perspective, that is separate to this, from an evolutionary perspective, meaning a evolution in consciousness. Currently there are two narratives. Now these two narratives, which appear opposite, are both leading to the same outcome. And the outcome of these two narratives is the next advancements, the next evolution of human consciousness, the awakening. The path we take is determined on the outcome of this election. And I'm going to explain exactly what I mean. So I'm always speaking from the perspective of consciousness. I've been speaking about this on my channel for the last 3 years, and that is consciousness is the one and only reality. Reality is the reflection of consciousness. Now, the reason that that's important is because trauma is a state of consciousness, is consciousness. Trauma is the memory of the past that gets locked in consciousness and we remember it. Now, the consciousness associated with that traumatic event remains active and will continue to play out until that consciousness is healed, meaning it has returned to wholeness, which is the infinite I am, the one who is everything, God. I am, whatever you want to call it. This is why history repeats itself. History repeats itself in order to heal and to be healed, which is why so many of us, myself included, will experience a traumatic event in our past and we will unknowingly replay that event in our reality, not in exactly the same way, but the quality of consciousness of that event will continue to be reflected back in the events and circumstances that we experience in our reality. Now that's at an individual level. However, it is now very clear that that is happening at a global level, at a collective level. What I mean is, if I was to ask you what is one of the greatest traumas in human history, the answer would be the Holocaust. Now the Holocaust is a trauma that is experienced within all of us. We are all aware of the Holocaust. The Holocaust happened back in the 1940s. The consciousness of the Holocaust, the trauma from that event, is still active now. It has been lying dormant for the last several decades. It has recently been triggered in our psyche, which is why we are hearing more today the rhetoric that is eerily similar to the rhetoric of Hitler and Nazi Germany. I personally have never heard the words Nazi and Hitler as much as I have lately, which tells me that that consciousness is rising to the surface and the result of that consciousness is being prepared to play out again unless we do something differently. Remember, history repeats until we rewrite history. And this is why we are at a choice point in the human experience, because we currently have two narratives running, and they are running very closely to each other. One narrative is the rhetoric from the past, one narrative is rhetoric towards a new future. And they are both running concurrently. They are both running side by side. They are both active. They are both strong. And they are both pulling people in different directions. The Holocaust was an event that was so terrible and so awful and so traumatic. It actually ended the war and it led people into a realization that that is not who we are as a human race. The power of that event launched us into another level of human consciousness that did not allow us to be reduced to those levels again. So the Holocaust, in its awfulness, actually helped us as a human race return to who we are more of, which is love, which is togetherness, which is inclusiveness. It actually brought us out of the depths of that evil, and it brought us back into a state of goodness. And we are now at another choice point. We are now at another awakening. We are now at another moment in time where we are about to be launched into another level of consciousness. But how we get there is determined on what we do at this point in time. Now, we can go through another Holocaust, and that is absolutely what we are currently looking at with one narrative that is currently being played out. That will be different to the one experienced in the 1940s, but it will have the same state of consciousness. It'll have the same blueprint. We're already hearing the rhetoric. That's why I needed to make this video, because I want you to be aware of the narratives that are running. This is not political. This is spiritual. Both these narratives will lead to a human awakening, but one will take a very dark path and one will take a light path. Consciousness will play itself out until it returns to wholeness. And I want to bring your attention to the word Holocaust. Keep in mind, this video is not meant to trigger or traumatize anyone, but it is important to acknowledge the narratives. We have to acknowledge the narratives. We cannot deny. Whatever we deny or push back on is what gives it more power and brings it towards us. So if you are resisting this narrative with this rhetoric of Nazi Germany, which is getting stronger and more prevalent, like it blows my mind, some of the things that I've been hearing. I actually looked at some of the narratives from the rallies that we've just seen recently, and I actually went back to some of the speeches and the rallies back in the 1930s. They are eerily similar. The rhetoric is similar. The key is awareness, and once you have awareness, you have choice. And remember, the one who decides the path we take is I am. I am is the observer of these two narratives. And if you are in denial or pushing back on one, that's the one you're going to bring in. I am is neutral. I am that, and I am that, and I'm choosing that. But I wanted to bring you into awareness of the word Holocaust. It comes from mid-13th century. Sacrifice by fire, burnt offering. From Old French, or directly from Latin, holocaustum, a thing wholly burnt. And I am sorry if this is triggering or upsetting in some way. Neuter of holocaustus, which is Greek, I believe, burned whole. From holus, whole. Now I'm going to come back to this. From holus, whole, and custos, to burn. There's no word to describe the horror of that event. And yet that event is what led us into the next evolution of human consciousness, where we came together when we realized that that is not the path to take. The war ended. We came out of that and we moved into another level of human consciousness, and we have been residing there for the last 79 years, almost 80 years. We are at the point of the next awakening, which is why the results of this election is so important, because we are literally staring down the barrels of two narratives. One is leading to a replay of the past. One is leading to an entirely new timeline, an entirely new future that has not been experienced yet here in third dimension. Either one of these narratives is going to lead to the awakening of human consciousness. They both lead to the same outcome, but the path will be very different. There is only one who can choose that path, that is I am. So I want you over these next few days to be using your I amness very consciously in terms of the narrative that you are choosing. I am choosing the light. I am choosing the narrative of the future. I am choosing the one that is inclusive and loving and kind and firm. I am choosing the narrative, the path of lightness. Now I want to take your awareness back to the word Holocaust. Holo is a word-forming element meaning whole, entire, complete, safe and sound, the universe on a whole. Within the Holocaust is the wholeness, is the universe, is the completeness. There is always goodness in the bad. There is always bad in the goodness. You cannot have one without the other. And that event led to the state of consciousness we have been enjoying for the last 80 years. And those people who died in the Holocaust, sacrificed themselves for us. They didn't know they were doing it, but we are all helping each other home here. We are all helping each other awaken. We're all playing the parts that we need to play in order to awaken to who we are, which is wholeness, which is I am. Now, cost comes from caustic, capable of burning or destroying, organic tissue, corrosiveness, combustible, burnt. So what that actually means is that which can be destroyed. Okay, so this word contains both the wholeness, the universe, infinite eternal life, and that which can be destroyed. These two exist in the same word, in the same event. The two narratives that we are seeing running currently, one is leading to wholeness and one is leading to destruction. Ultimately, they both lead to the same thing, which is wholeness. As again, I say they are both very different paths. There is only one who chooses that path, and that is I am. You are the container for I am. Whatever you are observing, you are the observer of it. The observer of it is the commander. There is only one commander in chief, and it is I am. You are that I am. You are the observer of the results of this election. So I am choosing the results. I'm choosing the narrative. I'm choosing the next experience that we are having here in this third dimension. Make this a very conscious choice. Just to give you a little inspiration, this is a script I just came up with for the purpose of this video. You can use this or create your own. I'm sorry for all the wrongdoings of the past. I'm sorry for all the pain and suffering these wrongdoings have caused. I am infinite forgiveness. I am infinitely forgiving, and I am infinitely forgiven. I am releasing past memories and narratives that maintain and perpetuate the consciousness of pain and hate. I am liberating myself from past narratives that withhold the advancement and evolution of human consciousness. I am remembering who I am. I am the infinite I am. I am infinite faith, I'm infinite hope, I am infinite love. I am remembering future visions of peacefulness and love and unity. And I am choosing narratives that serve the expansion and upliftment of consciousness and the human experience. I am choosing the easiest and lightest path to awakening. And when you come across the narrative or the rhetoric of the past, rather than be in resistance to, you can use the Ho'oponopono blessing. When you become aware of that narrative or that rhetoric that's in front of you, or you see images of it, you can just say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Because those narratives, those images, those experiences that you are seeing are coming from consciousness of the past. We want to heal it now so that we can move on from it without repeating it. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I really believe we do not need to repeat the traumas of the past in order to awaken. But if that's what it takes, that's what we will do. But it doesn't have to be that way. And the only way we ensure it doesn't is with I am. That is you. You are the I am of your reality. So please use your I am wisely. Continue to stay with yourself. Stay with I am over these next few days. Stay conscious of the narratives that you are directing your attention to. Claim all of it with I am, and then choose the path of light. Choose the path of love. Choose the path of joy. Choose the path of inclusiveness. We are all expressions of I am. We're all in this together. We're all helping each other. There is only one commander in this reality, and that is I am. Use it wisely. I love you. Bye.